So the second I saw Caitlin Clark foul Angel Reese, Reese fall to the ground, Reese get up and get in Caitlin Clark's face, it was obvious what all the discussion points and talking points would be about, despite the Fever's rout of the sky. I mean, it was not a contest. Caitlin Clark gets a triple-double. Duana Bonner moves to third all-time in WNBA scoring history, and the Fever looked better defensively and rebounding. Because really, the storyline, from a basketball play standpoint, was that the Fever didn't even play their best, and they blew this guy off the floor.
Imagine hearing whistles fly and seeing Caitlin Clark stand her ground, Angel Reese clapping back, and the ref struggling to keep control. This game felt more like a battlefield than basketball. It seems like Caitlin Clark was already in the zone before the game even started. Her whole demeanor, from her pre-game warm-up to her actual workout, screamed, "I'm here to do business."
Is that a part of your game that you've been working on the postseason? Are we going to see more blocks out of you as your career rolls on?
Not really something you can work on.
Okay. This is for Caitlin. Triple-double today. Not the first one in your career, but you had 4 blocks out there. That's more than you ever had in college. Matches your WNBA career high. Felt like you were channeling the spirit of Gabby Marshall out there with the blocks.
I don't know. I felt like I had active hands. I had some pokes when our post players were playing good defense, and coaching staff has just challenged me to try to be a better defender every single practice and just getting better in that area. I still feel like there's a lot of room for me to improve.
The Fever set the tone early on with their lightning-fast ball movement and relentless tempo. They were up 56-45, and the other team was starting to get irritated when things heated up. It seems as though the tension was fueling Angel Reese's fire with every play and whistle. Then, that time came. On one play, Caitlin Clark was called for a personal foul while guarding Reese. After examining video, though, the officials decided it constituted a flagrant infraction. The energy shifted dramatically then. You could feel it throughout the arena. Their pride war was practically audible on the court, as Angel Reese clapped back immediately, clearly upset with the collision.
But they also won't be pushed around, which you saw in the midst of this, and the moral of the story is both Clark and Reese said, "Let's move on," after the fact, showing that it was part of the competitive spirit and the way that the game is played. Now, when you do look at the play itself and everything that took place, here is exactly what Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese had to say. And sometimes it can get physical at times. But the real problem, the thing that it's going to be hard for the rest of the league to move on from, is how dangerous the Fever look. Now,
the crowd was engrossed and becoming louder by the second. The officials had to step in and call technical fouls, in addition to dealing with Reese and Clark to maintain order. One wasn't enough. Double texts were issued to Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston as the situation deteriorated. Criticism of the decisions made by the referees was common among those who disagreed with the calls. Continuing without reservation, the analyst said, "As usual, the referees were not making the right calls. It elevated the drama to a new level and made the officials seem like they were a part of the story. There was purpose to this foul. There was a closeness. At this very moment, showing respect and making a statement were more essential than winning or having anything material." As tempers flared between these two fierce basketball players, it became clear that this was about more than simply the game. Reese and Clark's history together, I agree.
AB got the tech?
I know.
Wait, what?
I got the tech?
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Well, first of all,
no.
I know.
let's not make it anything that it's not. It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it. I don't think any of those blocks were too obvious. You look at the stat sheet and it's like, oh wow, 4, but you can get your hand on there and help your teammate out. It makes the world of a difference. So, yeah. After watching the initial whatever happened during the play and then whatever happened after, we watch a lot of basketball. It's a take foul to put them at the free throw line or rather give up 2 points. I've watched a lot of basketball in my life. That's exactly what it was. I wasn't trying to do anything malicious. That's not the type of player I am.
This fight was a struggle for dominance between two factions. The story didn't end here, which is the interesting part. The Fever were unyielding in their resistance to the chaos. They stayed completely absorbed, focused. Next, we will discuss that. That says something regarding the path this group is following. Imagine instead of collapsing, the Indiana Fever managed to triumph over the game's most turbulent moment. The spotlight was squarely on Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But who were the Fever? All they did was stay still. What kind of composure can a team muster when faced with such pressure? Stephanie White is the one who starts it all for the Fever. Her approach to coaching emphasizes composure and attentiveness, and it's yielding positive results. With White at the helm, this squad is playing a different game this year. She is establishing a norm where everyone knows their role, always comes prepared, and never gets rattled. Let's circle back to the 2 technical fouls that started the whole thing. In the aftermath of Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul, Aaliyah Boston became entangled, and Angel Reese became enraged. As if trying to put out a fire, the referees handed down 2 technical fouls, which did little to calm the situation.
So, yes, wasn't anything like that. And I went for the ball, and that's clear as day in the replay. You watch it. You know, it shouldn't have been upgraded. But, again, that's up to the ref's discretion. But I appreciate AB having my back, I guess. I don't even know what she did. I didn't see that.
No, nobody's going to get anything easy against us. You know, we're going to be a tough defensive team. I thought it was a clear play on the ball as well. You know, one of the points of emphasis for us is we can't give up and ones. But I thought it was a good play on the ball, and I am proud of this group. I mean, look, we have a lot of young players, and we have a lot of veterans, and understanding, you know, moments where we have opportunities to grow from a mental toughness standpoint.
On the court, anxiety was at an all-time high. Overflowing emotions like that have the potential to derail a team. On this occasion, however, that will not be the case. The Fever kept their heads up even though the world around them seemed to be collapsing. Following those technical fouls, the Fever wasted no time showing why they should be watched. The way they ramped up their defenses gave the impression that they were prepared for just such an attack. Neither of them got angry, nor started making a big deal out of nothing. They refocused and ramped up their efforts instead. Think back on how the Fever might have crumbled in a similar position last season. Under those conditions, where tensions were high and composure was eroding, they would have lost their bearings and made numerous mistakes. On the other hand, this season is all new. The fact that their defense has made such great strides is not coincidental. Their early schedule's preparation and momentum led to this. Not only do they want to win a lot this season, but they also want to gain confidence for the tougher tests that are ahead. It would appear that this Fever squad is ready to take on the Lynx, Liberty, and Aces. If they can turn this kind of chaos into dominance in a game like this, just think of what they can do in the playoffs. Has Caitlin Clark been mentioned? Their driving force is her. Her intensity management skills might be the key to this Fever squad's invincibility. The Fever's triumph in this game was symbolic of more than simply their winning streak. Caitlin Clark proved she is the team's missing spark by bringing the aggressiveness and zeal that backs up their dominance. The critics said that because she wanted all the smoke, she was going to come in and take that foul. Her ferocity establishes a standard even in high-pressure settings, and the Fever's reactions show that they are competitive. If they are able to excel in such a setting, imagine what they are capable of when much greater stakes are involved. As things heat up in the WNBA, are you ready for more?